Not over. Not. Voice will be.
Yes. Hi, hi, good morning all.
కళా మేడం మీ మైక్ రావట్లేదు.
Srimati M. Anchanamma, MSc PhD, Assistant Hydrologist, Groundwater and Water Audit Department, Nandyal. Angaru Ganesh Kumar Reddy, Department of Environmental Engineering, Wangun University, Seoul, Republic of Korea. Dr. T. Chandrasekhar, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Sciences, Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa. Dr. S. Srinivasa Gaud, Assistant Professor, Department of Geology, Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa. Ganesh Kumar Reddy, Department of Environmental Engineering. P. Satyasamuel, Scholar, Agribusiness Management, Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. And we welcome you all the delegates, students, news reporters, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the World Water Day. World Water Day is observed every year on March 22nd to celebrate water and raise awareness of the 2.2 billion people living without access to safe water. The day urges the world to take action to tackle the global water crisis. Hence, the organization of today's national seminar on groundwater, making invisible visible. Now, I request Dr. A. Madhusudan Reddy, Associate Professor, to inaugurate the national seminar with his key address. It is our tradition that all the programs begin with a prayer. Let us begin with a prayer. Hence, the
माइक एडजस्ट कर रहा है।
Now I request Dr. A. Madhusudan Reddy, Associate Professor, to inaugurate the national seminar with his key address.
So very good morning to all. I am audible. Ma'am, I am audible. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, I am audible.
Sir, good morning, sir.
So good morning to one and all. I am Dr. Madhusudan Reddy, Associate Professor, Department of Botany, AGM University. I am very much thankful to the management of CSSR and SRRM Degree College, PG and Degree College, Kamalapuram, and the correspondent and principal, Rajagopal Reddy Garu, and other staff and other faculty, and other resource persons, those who are participated in this national webinar on World Water Day. So water is very essential for every organism, every life on earth. So no water, no life. So that is very important. Water is very important. No water, no life. Save every drop of water. So we don't see until a well is dry. So we have to save the water. So today is World Water Day, celebrated globally on 22nd March every year. So yesterday itself, we celebrated 21st as a World Forest Day. So every year or every month, there are several days or several occasions we are celebrating various days. So each day is having its own importance, and international unions and also all government agencies, NGOs, all people all over India. So to make the sustainable use of all things, not only water. So it is one day is water day, another day is environment day, another day is forest day, the birders day. So the days, why the day, at least the day itself, the humans, the people will know the things importance of the day, and we have to utilize the things in sustainable manner. So this day, especially the World Water Day, the day aims highlight the importance of fresh water, especially. So fresh water. So there are several countries, there are several cities, there are several places all over the world, all over the world. So there is a good drinking water. We are hearing that there are several times, several people are thirst. So there is no good water drinking. So it is used to advocate for the sustainable management of freshwater resource. So we have to sustainable freshwater resource. This 2022, the focus is groundwater. It's a really wonderful theme they make this year, 2022. They focus on groundwater, especially groundwater, making the invisible visible. See how that meaning itself, invisible, visible. So especially the organizers, those who are taking this World Water Day, especially to organize the national webinar, and also there are good response in the webinar also. So we have to at least aware the things around the nearby you, wherever you are. At least you have to nearby you. You have to aware the invisible to visible how it is, and the focus of groundwater, an invisible resource with an impact visible everywhere. See, it is an invisible and invisible resource with an impact. It is an invisible resource, but it is a very impact on everywhere. So relevant issues including water scarcity, water pollution, inadequate water supply, lack of sanitation, and the importance of climate change.
Sir, you are muted.
Why it is? I'm not muted. On me, it is mute. No, it's not muted. Hello, I'm hearing.
No, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the World Water Day theme again, groundwater making the invisible to visible, and the groundwater is a crucial resource that provide almost half of all drinkable water resource across the world. See, most of the lakes or most of the rivers are, though it is the most of the wells are even though present in all our world, but 50% of the people are almost 50% of the drinkable water coming from the groundwater only. So we have to safeguard the groundwater. So that who is going to do that safeguard of the groundwater? So the people who are nearby and also who are going to take care of the policies or making the them, we have to take care of the groundwater is without getting any pollution. Say, for example, when you see the history of the World Water Day 2022, a very brief history, I'm not going for very two-line history. So the idea why it is idea came out goes back to the International Day, goes back to 1992. The year in which the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development in Rio de Janeiro took place. That same year, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution by which 22 March of each year, we have to celebrate World Day for Water. So we observed starting from 1993 onwards. So 1993 onwards, there are several days we are celebrating every day, every year, and how much progress we are getting from connecting these kind of seminars or webinars or whatever may be regular awareness programs on water. So importantly, we have Scarcity Secretary of General Assembly of Nations. So they are going to give the good address on this day also about the water resource and what's importance of this day. Then each and every human being has to act as a save water. Water again. So we don't want to pollute the water. See, several times, several cities, especially, you can think wherever you are, how safe water you are drinking. So, for example, everybody, every human being, even from the low class to high class people, now they are drinking canned water only. So that canned water, where it is coming, again, everybody is purifying water. Everybody is purifying. There is no good minerals. So earlier, for example, direct invisible water, that is called groundwater. We are unable to drink directly. Why? Because there is several issues. See, for example, one back, I got a water from our municipality with the drainage smell. See how quality of water we are taking. Complete drainage smell. Tank is with drainage smell. Our pipes are leaking with good drainage, leaking with drainage. So if even we are going to developing country, then also we are in the district headquarters, only we are doing like this. Several places, how the things are going on, you can see. Then also open drainage system. So all the drainage water is going to link with the fresh water. Then how safeguards? That's what the people are getting some water diseases regularly. So that has to be taken first, municipal level and also city level first. The drainage system has to streamline the first. Then the groundwater, this drainage water, where it is going again? It is going again nearby your bores and nearby this visible water again going inside invisible water. Then again it is going to recycle. Then this is we are going to take. So the policymakers, the people, and also the students, the stakeholders, though we have to give the good awareness to the especially on drainage system first. So you take one issue first. So this year our municipality or our area, first we have to complete drainage system should be clear and clear. So you can see the in cities open wherever you're going in nearby home, you are getting bad smells with the water. Then dirty water, that the side by water only. Then your pipeline is going on in major cities wherever you go. So the system has to change first. So that invisible water, we are making the pollution. We are making the pollution of the water. So again, another thing is, and everybody, every human being as a human being, we have to save the water. We have to save every drop of water, and we don't waste the water. And all the time we have to minimize, drink more water, but don't have a bath with more water. Drink more water, 3 or 4 liters, but don't take bath with huge water. So whenever the people have a misconception, whenever they are going for lodges, whenever we are there, other places, they are using the hot water, buckets of hot water. So at least still when I after 15 or 20 years onwards, I'm using only 1 bucket of water by bath. Just 1 bucket. Still, I'm using only 1 bucket. So indirectly, directly, I'm saving the water. So I'm using. So I thought that I'm the person who only I'm using the 1 bucket of water. What is there like? No, everybody has to take like that both. So we have to use the minimum water and drink more water. So water is life. Every life is no water, no life. So drink more water. Don't waste water. So with this brief message, I'm going to conclude. And I'm very much thankful to the CSSR SRRM College, PG College, and correspondent and the principal Rajagopal Reddy Garu and other staff, NSSPO Vinay and other people. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind keynote address. You have made all invisible issues quite visible and crystal clear. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I request our beloved principal, sir, Sri C.V. Rajagopala Reddy Garu, to give his message on this World Water Day. It's over to you, sir. Principal, sir.
Good morning, all of you. Dear professors and delegates, Dr. A. Madhusudan Reddy, Associate Professor, Department of Botany, Yogavamana University. Dr. Pankaj Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Agri-Business Management, Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Dr. M. Sridhar Reddy, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Sciences, Yogavamana University, Kadapa. Dr. T. Sivapratap, Associate Professor, Department of Earth Sciences, Yogavamana University, Kadapa. Dr. M. Anjanamma, MSc, PhD, Assistant Hydrologist, Groundwater and Water Audit Department, Nandyala. Dr. Angaru Ganesh Kumar Reddy, Department of Environmental Engineering, Bangwon University, Seoul, Republic of Korea. Dr. C. Chandrasekhar, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Sciences, Yogavamana University, Kadapa. Dr. Srinivasa Gaud, Assistant Professor, Department of Geology, YVU, Kadapa. T. Satyashamur, Scholar, Agri-Business Management, Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur. Delegates on the line from the 5 corners of the globe, students, news reporters, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me begin with my heartiest greetings to you all on the happy occasion of World Water Day. The World Water Day is celebrated on this day every year on the 22nd March. Water. The chemical formula of water is H2O. Water is an inorganic, transparent, tasteless, odorless, and nearly colorless chemical substance. Water covers approximately 70.9% of the Earth's source with the seas and the oceans. Out of the Earth's total water, it is estimated that as much as 97.5% is salt water and only 2.5% is the fresh water. And very small portion accounting for 1.7% of water occur as groundwater. And out of this groundwater, the fresh water accounts for nearly 1% of the total of the Earth's water. All this analysis assumes us the importance and preciousness of ground fresh water. The visibility and the perception is that water is abundant. In fact, the groundwater is not abundant, it is invisible. The invisibility of the data analysis is that the fresh water is only 1% of the total water on the earth. So visualize the invisible perception to visualize the reality of groundwater. Let us visualize from the invisibility of the small portion of water available for the life on the earth is saved for the present and the future generations. So water is vital in our lives. Water is life for all the living creatures created by the God. Groundwater is invisible. Groundwater is out of our sight. Groundwater is under our feet. We cannot see the water underground. The groundwater is hidden treasure that enriches our lives. So the impact of groundwater is visible everywhere. Groundwater is the invisible ingredient in food. Agriculture is the largest consumer of the world's freshwater resources. Groundwater is the source of torrents, streams, rivers, lakes, and all the other channels bearing water. Today, the rivers, lakes, streams, torrents, ponds, and all are full of pollutants, full of plastics, full of microplastics. That means plastics particles. Plastic particles. The researchers show that the seas and the oceans are also full of microplastics. The creatures in the sea are dying day to day. The swarms of dead fish, turtles, crabs on the seashore are regular phenomena. Let us find out the visible pollution causing pollutants and make a visible the invisible issues before the students, delegates, and the intelligentsia. The present online national seminar is the right platform to share our knowledge, experience, and research outcomes on to the day's World's Water Day theme, groundwater, making invisible visible. With this conclusion, our inaugural address, I on behalf of our CSR SRRM degree and PG college extend our warm greeting to this online national seminar. Happy World Water Day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You have analyzed the groundwater data at global level very well. It is quite informative. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now I request Dr. Pankaj Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Agribusiness Management, Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. It's over to you, sir. Dr. Pankaj Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Agribusiness Management, Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Are you available, sir? Dr. Pankaj Kumar Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Agribusiness Management, Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. Are you available, sir?
Yes, sir.
Please respond, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. M. Sridhar Reddy, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Sciences, Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa. Sir, I would like to deliver your views on this occasion, sir. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ma. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can I share my PPT?
Sure, sir.
Please.
Please, sir.
Is it visible? My PPT
Yes.
is. Huh?
Yes.
Is it? Can my PPT is visible?
Yes, sir.
Can I start my PPT then? Okay. Can I start, Amma?
Sure, sir. Please, sir.
So, thank you.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you.
sir.
So, thank you, organizers, especially Principal Sir Rajgopal Sir of CSR and Sir Degree College and his team behind this seminar. So, on this occasion of, on the occasion of World Water Day, it was World's Forestry Day. We couldn't do anything, but on the occasion of World Water Day. So you conducted this seminar and invited me for this occasion. So in this occasion, I provide some aspects, especially considering the audience as students. So anything with respect to conserving, we have to start with our goals. So according to the United Nations, we have around 17 goals. So there are 17 goals, of which if we follow any government, if we follow these things with occasions, then we will reach the sustainable development. Among these 17 goals, this sixth
Sir,
goal
shall you
is,
please click on your PPT, sir?
yeah, so it's changing. Is it changing?
No, sir.
So these are the 17 sustainable development goals for each.
Sir, you have, excuse me, sir. You have to click on your screen, sir, to open PPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. It's visible. Thank you, sir.
This one, got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So once more, thank you. And these are the 17 sustainable development goals, which our government, along with other 192 countries, want to keep it as a minimum goals and an objectives for providing to reaching the goal of the sustainable development. Among these 17 goals, our goal, that is today's perspective, today's is clean water and sanitation. This falls into this aspect. So coming to the audience, I'm a majority of our students. I take is before providing some information, and I will take one case study of our India. If you take water as such, the available water, see these graphs, 97 or 96.5% of the water is saline. That means for a practical purpose, this is not available for us. So for practical purpose, the one which will available is around 3%, of which among this 3%, nearly 70% is tapped in the glaciers. This is also not practically available for us. So the one which is available in larger section for the purpose is the groundwater. So that this simple statistic provides us as how much is the importance of this groundwater. In addition to this groundwater, we have a small portion that is surface water, of which although majority is present in the form of ice and major portion is in the form of lakes and this one. So these simple statistics and graphs indicate the importance of groundwater and surface water, how much we have to use justifiably to reach that sustainable goal of clean water providing to all. So among this groundwater, and we will discuss this one as this one. For example, if you take 100 parts of the water that falls on the earth through rain, essentially, of which 56% flows through the landscape. That means soil as well as plants will take this amount of the rainwater, and this will be either evaporated or present in the fresh biota, or it will be transferred from the biota. So among this additional amount, that rest of this is called as green water, and this is the one, the blue water, which essentially enters into your system, which we can use for our purpose. This is considered. So anything, any quantum of water in a particular area, if it falls on the earth, can be divided either into green and blue. And this portion will be useful for either for if you are using in what way. So in India, so if you consider simple groundwater, the sustainable development of using, it has to be meant for the present generation, and we have to use this share of water so that the next generation will have to use this. I'll not go into the technical point of view because other persons are also there. This one, from my environmental science point of view, I'm keeping students as a major audience. I provide the awareness because in the sustainable development goals aspect, providing awareness with respect to the environmental issues and problems is the major aspect. But simple terms of using the groundwater is you have to provide an in-depth knowledge, the technical aspects of this one, where you have to map the areas of a particular area, providing where are the recharge points, where are the lithological units, where are the structures, where are the fractures, and you have an accurate map so that you can provide how much of groundwater is in our hand, how much of surface water in hand, how much of we are using it, and how much of this one. This is the technical aspect so that the groundwater can be used as sustainable, not only for our generation, for the next generation. In India, especially, if you want to hit the bullseye, we have to start conserving the irrigation water, because either it forms from the fresh water or from the groundwater resources. What we either is that we have to conserve the irrigation water, because nearly majority of the water, either from the groundwater or surface water, will be using for the agriculture purpose, stopping the leakage points, providing the water, and the best way of providing the drip irrigation system is the one which you can provide conserve water, especially the groundwater and these ones. The next aspect from technical point of view is the new way we have to exploit the advanced desalination. At present, we have a desalination technology providing somewhat drinking water from desalination or reverse osmosis process from the somewhat salty layer. But all the research has to be taken into consideration, providing a better membranes and reverse osmosis and this one treatment. We have to invest our technology as well as people to get the better membranes and better technology so that we can exploit this somewhat salt water to get the fresh water. Then, as I told in my first one, my hope will be that in this a 5-minute talk of that, I will take in India how we use this one as and this one. I take as the students are the major audience. I'll take this wetlands as an case study, how we have to see that. That means from environmental science point of view, every system, or especially the natural entity like lakes, these are the filters, these are the kidneys of this one water system. I'll take one case study example. What I have written is the Kolkata, especially on the eastern Kolkata wetlands. These are the system unique in the world. We don't have any system in the world, a water body, a lake system, this one which is associated with the people and provides an ecosystem service. That is an ecosystem function in conserving water body as well as the recharging of groundwater. We know that Kolkata is one of the biggest city in India, providing, and when in the British Empire, it was the second largest city for their whole British Empire. So this is two rivers they have, the Ganges and the Hooghly, and the city is at the 5 meters level, and they have this in this area, the red portion, the bordered area is the one we have the East Kolkata wetlands. How this ecosystem function happens, we will see in this course of the following time. So if you see, it's a very simple way, the Kolkata's wastewater as a case study, the city produces a lot of sewage. It doesn't have any treatment plant, but to a certain extent, it does not have a pollution problem. Who is doing this ecosystem service free of for this Kolkata city is the Kolkata wetlands. These water body systems between these two rivers, the flowing towards the Bay of Bengal, does this ecosystem service for around 14.5 million people free of cost. How we are using that, we will see. So that, as I told that today's is a case study of Eastern Kolkata Westlands, we consider as EKW. Like any other city, water scarcity is the biggest worry for them. But this, like in Mumbai, like in Delhi, this wastewater treatment is done free of by the ecosystem function provided by these Eastern Kolkata wetlands. It is not just now one present, it is happening throughout this century. That means the wastewater coming from these toward the Kolkata city is basically led through these channels into the water wetland system. And because of this 5 meters sea level flow, the organic waste is broken down by the oxidation process and as well as the utilization of the sunlight radiation, especially the UV light. And this wetland portion has it 5 meters mixture of water, mixture of some salt water is exclusively better used by the fisherman for growing the fish. Then these day to day of these organic waste is being pumped into this one. It has formed that wastewater from the ponds this wastewater from the ponds is let into the another branch of this one. This is used for growing paddy as well as the vegetable farms. And this is drained into the another river, and this unique wetland system, that is the sewage water system from the city, enter into a channels of water being utilized for fishermen for the growth of fish, then letting down into the other system that is growing of the paddy system, then entering into the system makes this system somewhat free of pollution and providing livelihood for the fishermen as well as the vegetables as well as fish for the Kolkata people. So especially, it's not an easy thing. These Eastern Kolkata wetlands were designated as an international importance under Ramsar Convention. First, they didn't consider this one, although majority of this good is definition, but the birds that are present are in lower. The Ramsar Convention is meant for protecting the birds. But here, the importance of this wetlands is providing the ecosystem function. Like majority of the people are dependent on it, then groundwater recharge. For this unique wetland ecosystem, Ramsar Convention has given this. So this about 8,000 hectares of Eastern Kolkata wetlands, after a long, thorough work by the people, NGOs, local people, this Ramsar conversion site got this site example. So it means this is the ecosystem function providing in the form of waste recycling, providing a flood mitigation, and most importantly, it is helpful for the groundwater recharging. And based upon the sustainable development goal, it is also meant for providing the livelihood source for major fishermen people as well as the agriculturalists, and for the indirectly to providing food for the Kolkata people. So as in Thames River, they say that the organic waste that enter into the Thames River has an ability to clear itself within 5 to 15 days. This Eastern coastal wetlands also has the capacity to clean the organic waste that comes into the within 10 days. That is, the nutrient-rich water algae is channeled into ponds, where algae is provided to the fish will grow like this and let into the paddy fields, paddy will grow, and in the organic dump waste, the vegetables are grown. So provided the basic food, water, and livelihood security for the people in the Kolkata and unique system. So the essential salt marshes throughout this century has made the wastewater free of, in the city of wetlands, the wastewater has converted is slowly into this one. The fishermen began using wastewater to use farm ponds. After either from the ponds, the water was let into the rivers, that is paddy fields, and this has turned into the food bank. And this is unique wetland approach where people can depend on it for their livelihood security, nowhere it occurs. So it provides around 10,000. They say that around some statistics, they provide 10,000 tons of fish and 40 to 50% of green vegetables to the Kolkata market comes from these wetlands. But what happens now is that a big salt lake constructions, especially the city like Salt Lake, has come and taken a major portion of these wetlands, and only 8,000 hectares of wetland is at present. So the other kind of people want to the development or economic growth, people who wish to that convert these wetlands into this one, because as I said that according to the sustainable development providing goals, providing awareness is one of the most important thing. So some section of the people for a better development growth wish to convert this wetlands, the eastern coastal wetlands, which provide ecosystem service free of function in the form of food, in the form of livelihood, in the form of recharging groundwater, into some kind of activity other than this land use. But people, NGOs, and especially Ghosh, he's a scientist behind this, has worked a lot, and the High Court of Kolkata also given the verdict that this wetland should be preserved for fishing, farming, and providing the ecosystem service. It is one of the rare legal battle which environment has won against certain section of the people for the protection of an ecosystem function, this one. So he who is behind, as a person, majority of people, but as a person, we have to consider Mr. Ghosh, who is a recipient of Ian Award also, because he is the person who has conducted research on this and really provided the information. Yes, although wetlands are meant for under Ramsar Convention is meant for protecting or conserving the birds, but this eastern coastline wetlands is a unique system which provided the ecosystem function, but it also provides livelihood security. It also provides ecosystem function and services free of cost for these people. So in this, to certain section, we have because of this High Court verdict, environment protection was happened. But from this point of view, what we have to consider is the present rampant urbanization, which is eyeing the 8,000 hectares of these wetlands, should be undertaken. Plus, before entering, so a scenario has changed. In addition to the domestic water entering into this wetlands, certain amount of chemical waste is also entering into this one. So, a Environmental Science Department of Jadavpur University and as well as a Kolkata University has clearly showed that the chemical analysis of wastewater has to be undertaken and steps has to be taken to progressive reduction in the form of pollutants, and especially higher amount of BOD and CO has to be reduced, and certain heavy metals have also to be reduced. And in this way, we have to protect these ecosystem, eastern coastal lands, wetlands, an ecosystem which is unique in the world, providing livelihood security for the people, providing ecosystem function in the form of providing food, providing water, and recharging the groundwater free of cost for these many people should be conserved. So on this occasion of Water Day, I wish these students who are on the audience has to get little information about this Kolkata wetlands, which is unique to our country, which provides ecosystem services for this one by using the wastewater. And this is most important. So with this small information, I thank the organizers of CSSR SRRM College on the eve of Water Day for giving me this information.
Richard, thank you so much. You have vividly shared the 17 sustainable goals for development. Distribution of water on earth, like groundwater, total global water, fresh water, salt water, green water, blue water. The feasible areas of groundwater development are covered carefully. Rainwater conservation, conservation of groundwater, exploitation of technology in the discussion. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to invite Srimati M. Anchanamma, Assistant Hydrologist, Groundwater and Water Audit Department, Nandyal. Well, you are welcome, madam.
Yeah,
It's over
1
to you,
minute,
ma'am.
please.
Sir,
Hello.
Sridhar, sir.
Hello.
Sridhar, sir. Yeah, madam. Sridhar, sir, shall you please stop your screen sharing?
Okay.
Kindly, sir. Sridhar sir. Your PPT is on still. On screen, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anjanamma, madam, it's over to you, madam.
Okay, thank you. Myself, I'm Manjanamma, Assistant Hydrogeologist from AP State Groundwater Department. And first of all, good morning to everyone. Today is World Water Day. We are celebrating.
Excuse me, madam.
Tell me.
Would you request you, madam, to unmute your speaker?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, madam.
Now you are hearing me?
Yeah, madam.
Okay.
Thank
Is
you,
it clear?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's clear. Carry on, madam, please.
Okay. Actually, first of all, happy World Water Day to all of you. The delegates and other students are participating in this program. And we are celebrating the World Water Day since 1993 for awareness and sustainable development of groundwater. Why? Because in worldwide, groundwater is a major problem. In some areas, water availability is good, but in some areas, the water availability is very critical. So, to overcome that situation and develop and supply the water to all the people who are living in this world, for them to supply water for all, this World Water Day celebration has started. And from since 1993, every year there is a theme. It's showing one theme, and they are looking overcome to that theme. Worldwide awareness programs are conducting on March 22nd. And present main problem for groundwater is, one is water scarcity, another one is water pollution. Water scarcity mainly is due to lack of groundwater, lack of water availability. It's mainly groundwater is very poor and recharge condition is also very less. For that situation, we have to overcome, means improve the recharge conditions. Improve recharge conditions means construction of check dams, subsurface dams, or desiltation of tanks, like that. In this process, we can the above all processes can recharge the groundwater. And another one is rainwater harvesting structure. In some years, rain is very good. At that time, if we may harvest the rainwater and we will construct the rainwater harvest structures. We may preserve that water and we can use it at the scarcity times. Another one is water pollution. Water pollution is mainly due to contamination, solid contamination, as well as chemicals contamination. Chemical contamination means nowadays the country is developing very fastly, so that what is happening means the all industrial wastes or some other, they are dumping into the soil. That soil waste is directly contacting with the groundwater, and again we are drawing that groundwater, so the groundwater is polluted. And then one more thing is fertilizers. We are using fertilizers for fertilizer chemicals, all these for agriculture, growing crops. That chemicals are also returning into the groundwater, and food also contaminating with that, so that biodiversity is also happening. Contamination of food chain. So food chain is also contaminating due to this all chemical risk. And lack of potable water. Potable water is also getting reduced. So what I want to tell you is, every drop of water is a priceless treasure. So please save water, and please cooperate with all, with unpollute water and unpollute the soil also. If we will pollute the soil, it will automatically pollute the groundwater. Thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. I'm already in one meeting in Vijayawada, so sorry to concentrate on this. Thank you everyone to joining me in this program.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Shall I-
You have clearly shared your practical experiences pertaining to watershed management, right? rainwater harvesting, efforts of use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I would like to invite Angaru Ganesh Kumar Reddy, Department of Environmental Engineering, Wangun University, Seoul, Republic of Korea, to share your views, sir. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Good morning to all. I am Ganesh Kumar Reddy Angaru from Kwangwon University, Seoul, Republic of Korea. Now I am wishing you all happy World Water Day who are participating in this organization. Now,
Sir, could you please open your video on
oh,
camera,
sorry.
sir?
Am I visible?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The World Water Day was first formally proposed in Agenda 21 of the year 1992 by United Nations Conference on Environmental Development in Rio de Janeiro. And since 1993, every year on the 22nd March, the World Water Day is observed internationally. It is a United Nations Observance Day to create a public awareness about the importance of water in human life and for the sustainable management of the fresh water. The World Water Day is also used to highlight required improvements for access to water, sanitation, hygiene facilities in the developing countries. In current year, the World Water Day 2022, the main theme is the groundwater making the invisible visible. Now, it is mostly considering about the groundwater. When it comes to the groundwater is water found underground in aquifers, which are geological formation of rocks, sands, and gravel that hold substantial quantity of water. The groundwater is recharged mainly from rain and snowfall infiltrating into the ground. The groundwater can be extracted to the surface by pumps as well as wells. And when it comes to the importance of groundwater, almost all the liquid fresh water in the world is groundwater. Life would not be possible without this groundwater. Most arid areas of the world depends entirely on this. This groundwater supplies a large proportion of the water we use for drinking, sanitation, food production, and industrial process. This groundwater also played a crucial role in healthy functioning of ecosystems such as wetlands and rivers. Over exploitation of this groundwater can lead to the land instability and subsidence, and in coastal regions to see water intrusion under the land. And why we should care about the groundwater? The groundwater being over-exploited, it means overused since many years, where more water is abstracted from aquifers than is recharged by the rain and snow. The continuously over-exploitation leads to eventually to depletion of the resources. Not only groundwater, whatever resources, due to over-exploitation, it get depletion. So the groundwater is polluted in many areas and remediation is often a long and difficult process. This increases the cost of proceeding groundwater and sometimes even prevents its use. And this groundwater has always been crucially important but not fully recognized. We must protect groundwater from pollution and use it sustainably, balancing the needs of people and the planet. The groundwater vital role in water and sanitation system, agriculture, industry, ecosystems, and climate change adaptation must be reflected in sustainable development of policy making. And the invisible ingredient in food, the population growth, rapid urbanization, and economical development are just some of the factors driving increased demand for water, energy, and food. This agriculture is largest consumer of the world's freshwater resources. So the groundwater is an invisible ingredient in the food. The potential threats to quality of groundwater are mostly natural and anthropogenic activities. The natural are geogenic contamination and contamination resources from land use and other human activities. The two of the most widely spread geogenic contaminants are arsenic and fluoride. The naturally occurring arsenic pollution in groundwater affects millions of people on all continents. Therefore, the groundwater quality needs to be assessed and monitored regularly. The anthropogenic contamination includes the effect of agriculture activities, urbanization, and population growth, and climate change. And there are limitations to groundwater use, such as groundwater quality and high cost of abstraction. Furthermore, groundwater is not always available in sufficient quantities in the places where there is the highest human demand for the water. And finally, the main key factor of the World Water Day 2022 campaign is the groundwater plays a crucial role in adapting to climate change. We must protect and explore groundwater, balancing the needs of people and the planet. And thank you for giving this opportunity. I'm going to end my speech. Thanks to all of you.
Indians are always Indians wherever they are. Your sharing of your research on water, groundwater is very much analytical. You have come forward to share the present platform of our national seminar on groundwater, making invisible visible. Your focus on depletion of water and pollution is very clear. Thanking you, sir. Sir from Korea. Now, I would like to invite Dr. S. Srinivasa Gaud, Assistant Professor, Department of Geology, to deliver his views. You are welcome, sir. Dr. S. Srinivasa Gaud, Assistant Professor, Department of Geology.
Yes, I am here.
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay. No? First of all, I would like to congratulate. Is it I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, I would like to congratulate the CSSR and SRRM Degree and PC College, Kamalapuram, YSR District, and the management and the principal, Mr. Rajgopal Reddy, for giving me the opportunity on this World Water Day. And for each and everybody, World Water Day wishes. Okay. Coming to the topic, today I have selected the basic concepts of the groundwater quality. See, I would like to tell something about the quality aspects of the what actually groundwater means. See, all the subsurface water that fills the pores, fractures, and other places in rock strata below the water table in the saturated zone of geological formations. So, when coming to the groundwater definition, all the subsurface water that fills the pores, fractures, and other spaces in rock strata below the water table is called as the saturated zone in the geological formations. How the groundwater will be formed means due to the process of the infiltration and the percolation. The infiltration is nothing but the downward movement of water from the ground surface, as shown in the diagram. This is the infiltration process. Downward movement of the water from the ground surface. And another one is the percolation. And this is the transit of infiltrated water through unsaturated zone. So with these two important processes, the saturated zone will be recharged every time whenever the rainfall or something recharge has been taken place. This is the ground surface. Whenever the rainfall or something take place, the water will be recharged into the water table through the infiltration and the percolation. Finally, the saturated zone will be recharged. Coming to the groundwater in a broader way, see, it will be classified into saturated zone. Between that, the water table will be there. Above that, the unsaturated zone, that is called as the Meadows zone. Above that, the soil water will be there. On the surface of the earth, this is the ground surface. This is the general diagram to explain about the groundwater. And next on the, what are the process and principles involved in the groundwater means, this is the saturated zone. Just now I told about this. This is the saturated zone below the water table and the formation of recharge mound. And this is the water table level. And this is the percolation and the, again, yeah. See, these are the some common myths about the groundwater. Everybody is having this type of myths in the society. Groundwater moves rapidly. Is it so? No. Groundwater cannot move rapidly. It will have its own time of transportation time. Next one is there is no relationship between groundwater and surface water. No. We are having definite relationship with the groundwater and surface, because when surface water is getting recharged, and just now I told about the percolation and infiltration, then only the groundwater will be recharged. So we have to say there is definitely a relationship between the groundwater and surface water. And coming to the other point, groundwater migrates thousands of miles. No, it can't migrate thousands of miles. It migrates, but not the thousands of miles. Next one is the groundwater removed from the earth is never returned. That is also false. See, whenever we are drawing the groundwater from the few hundreds of meters from the earth for our common needs, whether it is from drinking purpose, agriculture, or industry. Whenever we are drawing the water from the water table, but afterwards, whenever the rainfall or something like that, it is automatically recharged. So this myth is also wrong. Groundwater is mysterious and occurred. It is not mysterious, it is scientific. Whenever the rainfall has taken place, due to the infiltration and percolation, the groundwater is getting recharged. And another one, groundwater is not a significant source of water supply. No. It is definitely a significant source of water supply. As earlier speakers told, when there is no water, there is no life. So it is definitely a significant source of water supply for the human beings. Coming to the classification, already previous speakers have already told. We know that saline water is more than 97%. Fresh water is only 2.53. Again, this classification, we have already come across this one. This slide also, my colleague Dr. Sridhar Reddy has shown it. Yeah, regarding to the introduction of the groundwater, it is an essential natural resource for sustaining life and environment. However, the chemical composition of groundwater is one of the prime factors, because the chemical quality of the groundwater is so important as far as the domestic, that is household purposes, agriculture, and industry. During its complex flow history, groundwater passes from recharge to discharge areas. Groundwater passes through various geological formations, leading to consequent contamination in shallow as well as deeper aquifers. This is another model diagram I will show. Whenever the water is recharged due to the streams, the water table will be recharged like this to the confined aquifer. Above that, the confining bed, again the confined aquifer, again the unconfined aquifer. Above that, the water table will be there. Whenever we want to drag the groundwater from the water table level, we will naturally drill a rig borewell and we pump the water to our needs. This is a model diagram for the aquifer. Aquifer is a formation where we can yield substantial quantities of the groundwater. For example, it is a sandy, gravel. like that. It is a stream groundwater relationship. See, the rivers will be classified into two types, that is influent and effluent. Influent is the losing. That means the river feeds the groundwater. The groundwater will be fed by the river water. That type of stream is called as the influent. And next one is the effluent. Groundwater feeds river. It is opposite to the above one. This is the model diagram for the influent and effluent condition. Yeah, regarding the water quality parameters, we have to study the physical quality, chemical quality, as well as the bacteriological quality. Physical, as we know, the color of the water should be free from the any type of color, and water should be waterless. The water should not be there for the water. Taste should be agreeable for the human beings. Turbidity also, there should not be any turbid nature to the water. Usually the turbidity can be measured with this type of nephelometer instrument. It is, in other words, how clear or cloudy is the water as shown in the diagram. Usually the water should not be turbid like this. Next, what are the causes of the increased turbidity? Means sediment from the erosion, waste discharge, and the algae growth, and the urban runoff. And next comes the important factor is the hydrogen ion concentration or the pH. Usually the pH should be 7, that is neutral pH. If it is 0 to 7, everybody knows that is the acidic. If it is 7 to 14, that is basic. We have to measure the quality of the water in the form of the pH. Next comes the industries. Usually that this changes the pH of water as the sugar industry, distillery, electroplating industry, that is pickle industry. These are the properties. And next comes the important property, that is the electrical conductivity or EC. This conductivity is the measure of capacity of solution to conduct the electric current. And most of the salts in water are present in their ionic forms and capable of conducting current. So conductivity is a good indicator to assess groundwater quality. Based on the conductivity parameter, the quality of the water can be assessed. So it's one of the important parameters. Next comes the total dissolved solids. The electrical conductivity of water estimates the total amount of salt. So there is two methods. By calculating the electrical conductivity of water, we can estimate the TDS also. Usually the EC is very good indicator of total salinity. If it is below 250, it is excellent water. If it is 250 to 750, good. If it is 750 to 2250, it is permissible. But more than 2250, it is unsuitable. Usually the rainwater will have the lesser TDS than the surface water, then the groundwater, and then the estuarine water, then the ocean water, then the closed basin water. So finally, the total dissolved solids will be less in the rainwater and higher in the closed basin water. And what are the chemical parameters? That is cations and anions, even the trace metals. How and what are the cations? Just we will go through it. And what are the cations? Means calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. How the calcium comes from the local rocks or the minerals means the calcium usually comes from the residuoclase mineral, calcite, pyroxene, amphibole, etc. And the magnesium comes from the dolomite, pyroxene, serpentine, amphibole. Next one is the sodium. Sodium comes from the soda feldspar, zeolites, rock salts. And the other one is the potassium. Potassium comes from the potash feldspars, mica. Next one is the anions. Usually anions are the carbonates, bicarbonates, chloride, sulfates. Carbonates, where we can get so much carbonates when there is calcite and dolomite. Like Kadapa district is having a lot of limestone deposits, we will get the naturally lot of carbonates. Next one is the bicarbonates. All subsurface reactions involving carbonic acid. Chlorides, soda light, rock salt, and seawater are the main ingredients which leads to the chloride concentration to the water. Like that, gypsum, pyrites, anhydrite, and felspathites will give the sulfate concentration to the water. And what are the constituents of groundwater means? Major constituents will be lesser than the 5 mg per. Next, second one, the second minor constituents and trace elements. And what are the major constituents? Just now I told sodium, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate, sulfate, chloride, silica. And minor means iron, strontium, potassium, carbonate, nitrate, fluoride. And the trace elements which will be there in the water are the mercury, zinc. These are the heavy metals. Some are heavy metals also. Mercury, zinc, nickel, lead, aluminum, chromium, arsenic, and cobalt. And the another important property of the water is hardness of the water. It is the capacity of water for reducing and destroying the lather of soap. When we apply the soap by using the water, if the lather which comes very much means the water is the salt water. When we apply soap to the water means the lather is not coming means that water is hard water. This hard water is due to the metal ions that are dissolved in groundwater. These ions include the calcium, magnesium, sulfates, and bicarbonates. So usually the hard water will have like that. The classification based on the softer water, sulfate water is, if it is less than 75 salt water, moderately hard means 75 to 150. If it is hard means 150 to 100. If it is more than 300 means very hard. Next comes the iron. Iron which will be there in the water due to the dissolved from the particles from the rocks and soils. Acceptable limit is the 0.3 mg per liter. Usually causes brown or yellow staining of structure to the water. Next, metallic taste, offensive odor, poor taste in coffee, promote iron bacteria. Next one is the salinity. Based on the salinity, TDS, it will be like this. If it is 0 to 1000, fresh and non-saline. If it is 1000 to 3000, slightly saline. Like that, the table will be like this. And another important parameter, that is chlorides, causes the intrusion of seawater, regulation of the salt deposit, and the discharge of the effluents. The permissible limit of the chloride is the 1000 mg per liter. In higher concentration, chloride leads to the health hazard to the children and other young mammals. Next one is the nitrate. You might have heard about the blue baby disease. If the nitrates increases means due to the agricultural contamination, the fertilizer contamination, the nitrates will be more in some areas. Even the sewage pollution also leads to the nitrate contamination. Sulfates. The source is the oxidation of sulfate was presence of shales, industrial waste. And sulfate in water containing calcium forms hard scale in the stream bodies. And next one is the important, the arsenic, where we are having the problem in the Himalayan water area, particularly in the Bengal sediments. Like we are having this problem in the West Bengal and the Bihar areas, where we are getting lots of arsenic in the groundwater. It is not in the South India, but in the Bengal and Bihar areas. Yeah, in the environment occur in the several oxidation states, but in natural water mostly found in inorganic form as oxyanions of trivalent arsenite, pentavalent arsenate, and it is more toxic. And next, what we are facing the problem with the fluoride in the groundwater is the fluoride. The acceptable limit for the fluoride is the 1.5 ml. And if it is even the Kadapa district, we are facing the, particularly in the western mandal of the Kadapa district, each and every mandal we are having. Not only west, even in the Purvamala, Badwir also we are having the fluoride problem. Usually if it is less than 1 ppm, it is in safe. Okay. If it exceeds means 1.5, it leads to the dental fluorosis. And if it is further exceeds means that is the skeletal fluorosis. These are the common problems with the water. If it is iron is there means change in color after exposure to atmosphere, change in color class. If it is hardness is more, we won't get the soap lathering. If the fluoride is more, brownish black streaks on the teeth. Nitrate and phosphates, more growth of algae in water. A low pH and low dissolved oxygen means fish kills. And chlorides leads to the salty taste. Like that, the safe drinking water should be free from pathogenic organisms, should be clear, And they should not be saline, free from offensive taste, free from compounds, and free from the chemicals that cause corrosion of water supply systems. Yeah, coming to the pollution aspect. The water pollution, there are two types of water pollution. One is the point source pollution and another one is the non-point source pollution. Usually point source pollution comes from the septic tank or the specific factories like that. Factories, industry, municipal treatment plants. And they can be easily monitored and controlled by a permit system. And the another one is the non-point source pollution. The non-point source pollution is the pollution associated with storm water or the runoff. And the non-point source pollution cannot be traced to a direct discharge point, such as a wastewater treatment facility. The impact of non-point source pollution will be fish and wildlife, recreational will be, all these will be affected. Even the drinking water quality will be affected. And this is the some example of the model diagram of the lake. And these are the Bureau of Indian Standards, drinking water standards. So that's all about the water quality aspects I want to share with you on this World Water Day. Thank you to organizers for giving the opportunity. Thank you all the delegates for sharing my views on the water quality aspects. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. You have clearly mentioned the formation of groundwater and groundwater levels, the mites of groundwater and surface water. It is very interesting to know that groundwater travels miles and miles, and stream groundwater relationships, electrical conductivity parameters of water. Thank you, sir. Thank you for showing your PPT presentations on this occasion. Now, I request scholar from Vivekananda. Now I will request scholar from Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Rajasthan, Mr. Satyasamian, to share experiments with water.
Hello everyone, good morning. Firstly, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is P. Satyasamian and I'm pursuing agribusiness management in Vivekananda Global University. Now I'm presenting some methods that can recharge the groundwater simply. Can I present the presentation? No?
Sure.
Hello, my voice is audible. Hello. Hello.
Yes, Satyasamian.
Okay. Yes. As we can see nowadays, there are more wastage of groundwater. Everyone is using groundwater. Reluctantly, there are no parameters when compared to they're feeding the field with the groundwater. Everyone now is not using very highly. So here are some methods I'm proposing that can recharge the groundwater. This is a method named Percolation Pit. This is a pit that is helpful to recharge the groundwater with the help of rainwater. As we can see, we cannot suck the water inside the how we.
Satyasamian, are you there?
Hello.
Good.
Hello.
Satyasamian. Carry on. Please carry on.
Yeah. My screen is visible?
Yeah,
Hello?
yes, visible. Carry on. Please.
Wait one. Huh. There is a simple process to build a soak pit. Okay. The soak pits are helpful to recharge the groundwater easily at home. So we can build the soak pits at home. We can easily recharge the groundwater with the help of these methods. We can build the soak pit 1.5 and 4 meter depth. But as a rule of thumb, never less than 2 meter above the groundwater table. It should to be located safe distance from the drinking water source. We have to build this soak pit away from the home, at least 30 meters. The soak pit should be kept away from high traffic areas so that we can avoid the dust and soil. Okay, it can be left empty and lined with the porous material to provide support and prevent collapse, or left unlined and filled with coarse rocks and gravel. The rocks and gravel will prevent the walls from collapsing but will still provide adequate space for the wastewater. In both cases, a layer of sand and fine gravel should be spread across the bottom to help disperse the flow. To allow the future access, removable lid should be used to seal the pit until it need to maintain. Operation maintenance. A well-sized soak pit should last 3 or 5 years without maintenance. To extend the life of a soak pit, care should be taken to ensure that the effluent has been clarified and filtered to prevent the excessive buildup of solids. The soak pit should be kept away from high traffic areas so that the soil above and around it is not compacted. Particles and biomasses will eventually clog the pit and it will need to be cleaned or moved. When the performance of the soak pit deteriorates, the material inside the soak pit can be evacuated and refilled. To allow for the future access, a removable lid should be used to seal the pit and it needs to be maintained.
Hello.
We can. Hello, madam. Madam, thank you for giving me this opportunity. This is it.
Thank you, Satya Samuel, for sharing your views on experiments of groundwater to increase, how to increase in a home also. Thank you for your views. Now I would like to invite Dr. T. Chandrasekhar, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Sciences, Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa, to share his views. Sir?
Yeah, do you hear?
Yes, sir. Carry on.
I'm Dr. Chandrasekhar from Yogi Vemana University, Department of Environmental Science. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to say thanks to Rajgopal Reddy Garu to invite me on the behalf of World Water Day, March 22nd. Before going to start my presentation, I'm going to ask you to just, I'm sending some PPT to you. Can you just, మీరు దాన్ని చేయగలరా? PPT పంపిస్తాను.
Yes, sir.
Yes, or otherwise, just a moment. Just a moment. I'll send to Nick forward.
Sure.
Just a moment, please. Just a moment. Yeah, just a moment. I'm sorry that I was in the NSS special camp. I came late. First of all, extremely sorry about this.
But back.
The వచ్చింది presentation.
Screen
ఇదే డౌన్లోడ్ చేయాలి.
స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేసాం ఆల్రెడీ.
నువ్వు షేర్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఓకే. ఇదే presentation.
ఇదే.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you saw my presentation?
Sir?
You are seeing my presentation. చూస్తున్నారా మా presentation? PPT వచ్చింది.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah,
చూసారా?
sir.
You got
It's
it?
visible, sir.
It's visible. Okay.
Full, sir.
Thank you so much again. I think good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of World Water Day, March 22nd, I'm going to present a small talk on behalf of request by Mr. Rajgopal Reddy Garu, one of the best correspondent of the best college, which I always says that this college has a lot of facilities, which I used to say in my university also. So it's my pleasure to talk to you on behalf of this World Water Day. Madhu koncham bite kellu koncham sound vastha. So today my talk is, are we totally conserving the drinking water? You know the value of that today, that the value of the day, you know, we need to how to procure or conserve the fresh water or drinking water. Before going to start my presentation, మీకు నేను కొత్తగా చెప్పేది ఏం లేదు. మనకు వరల్డ్ లో 70%. Yeah, okay. The thing is, we know that almost like 70% of water is there on the earth, and only 30% of land is there. But still, we are facing the water scarcity. You don't realize that there is. So that's why I choose the topic that are we totally conserving the drinking water. I'm sorry that it's for students' sake. I'm speaking in Telugu also, bit convenient for the local audience. నిజంగా మనం డ్రింకింగ్ వాటర్ ని కన్సర్వ్ చేస్తున్నామా అనే క్వశ్చన్ మనం వేసుకుంటే, లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్ ద ప్రెజెంటేషన్ లైక్ దట్ అండ్ we will go for the conclusion ఏమొస్తుంది మనకు అనేసి. Okay, next start with the importance of the fresh water. Only about 3% of earth water is fresh water. Only 3% out of among 70% లో 3%. మన టోటల్ గా 70% వాటర్ లో 3% మాత్రం ఎర్త్ వాటర్ లో ఫ్రెష్ వాటర్ ఉంది. Out of 3%, 1.2% can be used as a drinking water. Only 1.2. In another senses, only 0.5%. That's what the people telling that. Census alone, Nagani. You can say that this 1.2% is potable or drinking water, we can say. The rest of the water out of 3%, 1.2 means 1. Rest of the water in glaciers, the ice caps or manchulo gani leda permafrost ante land lopala atle gadda kattukoni podam gani and deep burial grounds. So enduku idi manam ivanni maatladukunna importance of fresh water means today is the World Water Day. ఎప్పటి నుంచో మనకు ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ని పెట్టుకుంటూ kind of United Nations అనేవాళ్ళు they are starting they know the importance of the fresh water. So whatever you say that are we really in position to waste a drop of water? Honestly speaking, we are not in a position to waste a drop of water. We cannot even waste the single drop of water. But reality is But reality, what we are going to talking now, what is the reality? So next is, so United Nations started observing this day since 1993, almost 1983. They're going to start this program. The motive behind the celebration of this day is create awareness of water scarcity. Only currently 2% of people are suffering with 2 billion people are suffering with the water scarcity. And one of the things why we are talking about this is it indicates the 6 SDG. You know the SDG? SDG means Sustainable Development Goals, which is framed by the UNO, United Nations Organization, or simply UN. What they are telling this one is, the Sustainable Development Goals. What are these Sustainable Development? Do anyone heard about these Sustainable Development Goals? Do anyone? So okay, let's start this. The sixth one, 6 SDG. You can see here, sixth goal is clean water and sanitation, which is really apt for present day. That's why we are conducting World Water Day. We need to know the why we are doing Water Day. What is the suffering? The suffering is, though we have plenty of water, we don't have even 3% of water is there, fresh water. Among that, 1.2 is the drinking water. That means we need to keep a day for a clean water. That is the March 2nd, 22nd today. So, okay. So out of 17 goals, we have no poverty, zero hunger. These are the United Nations framed 17 goals, Sustainable Development Goals. Among that, the sixth one is related to today's World Water Day. We need to provide clean water and sanitation. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. We need to provide the water. What is the importance of this water? You can see on Earth, in this much of water is there, but we are not going to even and you know, honestly, we are almost all the time we are purchasing the water. That is the problem. You have to understand in a local way that we are purchasing water. Previously, almost 20-30 years back, we used to take water from the well as well as the boats and all, right? So what is the problem? Why we are suffering with this water? What is the lagging behind to get the this drinking water? So come back to the groundwater making the invisible visible. This is what actually we thought. It's actually this year theme is groundwater making the invisible visible. Manaku kanapadani groundwater ni mana visible ga cheskovali anedi Telugulo spastanga. I'm sorry that I'm going to talk to local language 1 or 2 because it has to be reached to local audience. I'm extremely sorry about that. Next. So with the collaboration IGRAC, International Groundwater Resource Assessment Center, as well as the UNESCO ISP, this program is conducting every, they are making last year, this year theme is groundwater making the invisible visible. Last year, value of water, value water last time. So similarly, every year they'll make a theme for on behalf of this water day. So what is the today's program? The today program is groundwater is a crucial resource that provides almost half of all drinkable water across the world. Groundwater is crucial. What is groundwater? So, upper layer of the ground, there is certain levels of this groundwater is crucial to drink the water. That area is providing the drinking water. It's a common for everywhere, but depends on the region. Say, for example, our district is a drought-prone district. After Bikaner from Rajasthan, still we have some groundwater. This year water is more. Next year, it depends on how best. So we need to procure the groundwater is a crucial for, and what is the main concept? The exploring, protecting, and sustainability using groundwater will be the central motive of World Water Day this year. That's what groundwater. We need to procure, we need to save, we need to, that means overall the same, whatever the theme overall is, save at least drop of water. You cannot waste the water. So what is the precautions you need to take to groundwater? If you want to protect the groundwater, go native. The native means you have to plant your plants. Say, for example, in Kadapa region, most of the sunflower is there. And then if you go down to Rajampeta, you cannot see the sunflower. You cannot get back any sunflower. So Go native. Native in the sense, whatever you want to plant, you plant that area plants only. నువ్వు కొత్తగా తీసుకొచ్చి ప్లాంట్స్ అక్కడ పెట్టావంటే ఎక్కువ వాటర్ లాగిస్తుంది, గ్రౌండ్ వాటర్. So go native is one of the motto. Whatever you want to do, go native. Whatever what the conditions, what even if you plant or anything, you go for native. Reduce chemical usage. This and all, everybody know that chemical usage industries నుంచి వచ్చేసేది ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీరు reduce చేయాలి, వాటర్ లో కలిపేసేది. How best we are doing. That's what very beginning I asked you one question. Do you see, are we totally considering the drinking water? No. The answer is no, which we know, but what is the lagging behind? And manage waste, whatever waste you have, you need to waste whatever the biological waste or chemical waste, plastic waste. Plastic anta, if you say on plastic is there on the earth, it will definitely it will be a distracting factor for the extracting the groundwater. And then manage the waste, biological or chemical or plastic, whatever the waste, you need to manage that waste, as well as don't let it run. Don't waste the run. You used to see that and save water drop by drop. You need to save the water as well as fix the drip also. You need to wisely use the water, improve the knowledge on water. Okay, let me, even whatever we want to do, we can do that. But before that, I will show you one slide where you can see whether it is a true or not. You see here, this slide is very common slide, very common slide. Do we really, if you see this slide, do we really saving the water? Yes, you can see leakage of the, you can see recklessly water is wastage, reckless water wastage. These are all very common. And you can see this, if you want to clean the plates and all, whatever the dish waste, you need to have to reduce the water. And then you see here agriculture also, we are releasing water like anything, and we are not at all controlling. The next slide is, you can see that they are giving water to only certain pan. Manam Telugulo cheppalante bindu sedyam anta, drip irrigation. And what chemical wastage is there in the near to that lake, you can see that. This and all happens regularly, very regularly. We have plenty of water. That's why we are looking water like that. If you go to any Middle East, like Sharjah, UAE, or you can, the value. They are getting water. Samudram nunchi teeskochi desalination chesi water vadukuntunnaru. They are using water from that place, Israel technology, where we have plenty of water. That's why the percentage of truth is, you have to understand. Whatever we are doing, are we totally considering the water means? My answer is no. Percentage, I'm not telling myself, you can tell. This is all true only. You are wasting water while wasting the dishes, as well as the leaking of pumps, as well as the chemicals, releases of chemicals in the lakes and all. And regularly you are releasing chemicals or fertilizers or chemical fertilizers in the, so you, this and all percentage of truth, I cannot tell from this platform. That you have to understand how much we are really conserving the water. Giving seminars, giving lectures and all, it's a kind of routine for us. How best we are implementing, that is the important. Anyway, save the water. Thank you very much. I think I have only 10 minutes, right? I think I have only 10 minutes. Within time I completed. I'm extremely sorry that I was in NSS special camp and I came very late. My computer is not working. And finally, I took the opportunity from Madhu's computer. Thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of Water Day. I must say thanks to you and greetings to you. After presentation, I'm telling you how much truth you have to realize. That is up to you. Thank you so much for the Rajagopal Reddy Garu, as well as the all college administration.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your apt presentation on sustainable development goals for ensuring availability and sustainable management of water and sustainable for all. Your focus on local audience reach is very fascinating, and it made invisible visible. It is useful and knowledge improving. Thank you, sir. Let us save water for us and future generations.
Thank you so much.
Now I request Ashok to give vote of thanks.
Sir, may I request Chandrasekhar sir to stop your screen sharing, sir? Your screen is still visible, sir. Could you please turn it off? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So firstly, I would like to thank the college management for giving me this opportunity to present vote of thanks on behalf of you all. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I, B. Ashok, from Department of English, CSSR and SRRM Degree and PG College, Kamalapuram, on behalf of our prestigious institution, express our heartiest thanks to everyone who is present for the National Online Seminar on Groundwater Making Invisible Visible today. Firstly, I would like to mention a special thanks to our beloved principal, Sri C.V. Rajagopal Reddy Garu, for his continuous encouragement to take up many initiatives like this in international and national seminars on many important and contemporary issues and developments. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to Dr. A. Madhusudan Reddy Garu, Associate Professor from Department of Botany, Yogi Vemana University, and the Coordinator of National Service Scheme. Dr. M. Sridhar Reddy Garu, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Science, Dr. T. Sivapratap, Associate Professor, Department of Earth Sciences, Dr. T. Chandrasekhar Garu, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Sciences, Dr. S. Srinivasa Gaud, Assistant Professor, Department of Geology from Yogi Vemana University, Kadapa. Thank you so much for your gracious presence, sir. I'd like to extend my thanks to Srimati M. Anjanamma, Assistant Hydrologist, Groundwater and Water Audit Department, Nandyal. And also Anguru Ganesh Kumar Reddy, Department of Environmental Engineering, Kwangwon University, Seoul of Republic of Korea. And a special thanks to Mr. P. Satya Samwell, Scholar, Agribusiness Management, Vivekananda Global University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. And last but not least, a very big thanks to all the delegates, scholars, students, and all the other participants who are present online, spending their valuable time to have some sharing knowledge of a national seminar on groundwater, making invisible visible. And a very special thanks to you all people for making it a grand success. Thank you. Thank you all for your encouraging comments on YouTube too. Thank you so much. With this, we'd like to draw curtain to the national seminar. We'll wind up this speech now. Thank you so much.